can't feel. I'm not gonna fall for gravity, 'cause the world will doubt, try to bring you down, but your love is real. I can't see a reason to try to fight for meaning, but you give me reason to know I still have meaning. I'm not gonna fall for gravity, 'cause you lift me up when I can't feel. I'm not gonna fall for gravity. Hearing all the wasted breath, struggle with every step, and I cannot get away. But you were such a paradise, standing up a mile high. Oh, you fall to give me strength.
Love when you put your hands on me. Touch me. Love when you put your hands on me. Touch me. Love when you put your hands on me. Trust me. Watch me. Give you a good time. Touch me. Love when you put your hands on me. Love when you put your hands on me. Give you a good time. Give you a good. Give you a good time. Give you a good. Touch me. Love when you put your hands on me. Touch me. Love when you put your hands on me. Touch me. Love when you put your hands on me. Trust me. Watch me. Give you a good time. Touch me. Love when you put your hands on me. Give you a good time. Give you a good. Give you a good time. Give you a good.
Hello, 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 and welcome to another stream of Boomeadow builds. We are back in Corkwood today. Corkwood in the Feyawyr, continuing to do this build, and hopefully we will get it finished today. But we will see, because I say that every week, and I never get as much done as I would like. However, I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas or happy holidays wherever you are, whatever you celebrate. And yeah, let us jump right in. There was one thing I was going to attempt. Give me a second. What I think I'm going to do is, I'm going to see if this absolutely tanks my computer to do this. I'm actually going to work, I think, at a higher, try to work at a higher resolution, so I can actually see what I'm doing a bit better, so we end up with some nice clear lines and things like this. So we'll see what happens, because we'll work at 3K. See if that makes a difference. I think 4K might be a bit too much, but we're going to see what happens. If it absolutely crashes my system, we'll know. Just because I'd prefer all of the tree pieces and whatnot to... I just saved Zephyr, but thank you and welcome. See, even that is better just going up slightly with the resolution. I can see a little bit better what I'm doing. Jump my CPU a little bit, but not too much. So we're currently working in the district of Fort Bloom. It is tradition. It is indeed. How are you, Zephyr? It is wonderful to hear from you today. And Tydrana, hello. Yeah. Part of me wonders if I should go back to the lo-fi kind of stuff. I know that there is a level of that which is a bit more relaxing to people. Ooh, baby shower. I like that for you. Love that for you. I think as well, we will put in some buildings, I think. Yeah, I think I'm going to put in some buildings just because if I'm going to do this layered effect of the trees and stuff like this, yes, if I'm going to do that, I should probably do it in such a way. These are another one. That there is some pretend illusion of cohesion, I guess. and you have a baby shower this afternoon. Well, I was going to see if you wanted to come around, but that's okay. I understand there are other things going on. For tomorrow's one-shot, yes. I am excited for tomorrow's one-shot, which reminds me, I need to... Thank you for reminding me. I do need to reach out to my mother-in-law, so thank you. You probably are, and you won't know until we actually get there. But that's okay. That's why we love the chaos. I love these little snail houses. You are level 5, okay, good. Exactly. Besides, who wants to come over to my messy house? In post-Christmas, you know, situations. Oh, thank you. There we go. That's better. Yeah, kitten. Exactly, kitten. Come over for some kitten love. There you go. I did decide to up the resolution to work out just so I can see, for example, with these buildings, because they're so small at the moment, just that they're like the doorways are facing roads and things like this. I know that that's such a minor little thing that a lot of people don't really care about, but I want you to be able to see where you're going. Yes, because this is a Fey village, I'm deciding to do a lot of this tree stuff. Also, Tide Runner, you will be happy to hear this. We have the 2 new players have been selected. We'll be adding Zegent and Maynard dancing to our group. I'm really excited to see what they're going to build and create. Yes, I've already been working with Zegent on some really, really cool concepts. So I'm very excited, which of course, a lot of it is going to be a secret. But that being said, I may have to change who I was going to send you with, depending on if we go with the concept that they have come up with, that you might be paired with. Yes, I'm very excited. Yes, secrets. I think the only thing that I can potentially say, and you'll understand as soon as I say this, if we go with the concept that Zegent is working with, he is going to be a Kalishtar, so you can probably understand, Tide Runner, why I would put him with Hasa. All I'll say is, potentially, Kalishtar Warlock. That's all I'll say. See, exactly, Tide Runner. You understand why I would end up putting them with you in terms of Kalishtar knowledge and world lore stuff. So yes, I'm very, very excited to see what we're coming up with, basically. Should I put in one of these, Tidrana? Maybe not this suburb, I don't think. But should I put one of these in the town? An alchemist. Do it. I realized that I had to pick a different style. This tree. Put that at -1 just so I can see what I'm doing. Probably make more sense to go that way, and I'm gonna realize select all these for now, and I'm actually going to put all of these down onto level 1, and I will work with them after I've put on all the low level stuff, because otherwise I'm not going to be able to see what I'm doing. So we have a clothier, and that's not how you spell early, Tegan. Question is this readable? Can you still read what's underneath with these things over the top? Or do they need to be a bit more opaque? Yeah, the question is it all getting a bit too muddy? Let me know. I love this. I think this song is called Candyland, by the way. And yes, Candyland by Tovu. Love NCS music. Well, I can't move it. So more transparent. Yeah, I can't move it up any further. I can move it down, but I think that it'll end up getting lost. But I can make it more transparent. I can take it down to 0.3. Is that okay? The problem is I think we'll have to reassess it once I've got the trees in, because the trees will have a level of transparency to them as well. Let me know. But we'll see how we go. Guild, Thieves Guild. Adventures Guild and bounty hunters. So that's the orientation, that's the front. Like that. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens, basically. Might have to change the alignment of that slightly so it's not overlapping terribly. Wonder if we can put Oh. So what happens when you've got too much on your desk and you don't actually give yourself enough room to move? You accidentally open things you shouldn't. There we go. That should make Tired Runner happy. That's usually what happens. And that fits a bit better. So yeah, now this is just the part where I end up filling in a whole lot of buildings. So yeah, I think I'm going to do this, try and do this actual build district by district. And because this is my first experimental district, I guess, for lack of a better word, it'll give me an indication of what I want to kind of do with it. But I've also realized that I'm also going to have to go to some of the other, because there are going to be other types of ships in here as well. all of these different ships from different places. They're the regular ones, the Elven. I love that they have ghost ships. Gothic horror. They don't need wintry snow ships. These Christmas ones are cool. You know what? I do like some of these though. Just because this is a market square, so the fact that there are lit up. Not against having these with their glowy lights for this lovely little market square. It's cute, especially because these holiday special ones will actually disappear over time. I say disappear, but Incarnate makes them available seasonally, so which is why we can't see any of the pumpkin ones, I think, anymore. Because there were autumnal ones with pumpkins, and I can no longer see them, so.
We lost our minds in the darkness of night. We live to die. We lose a soul every day. We lost our minds. We don't remember what's wrong and what's right.
Oh, those calls.
The world is dead, but we stay. 'Cause we are born as living fights. We live to die. We live to die. And we surrounded by the night. We live to die. We are shadows in the neon light.
Mix up the buildings with some of these stone ones, because there are humans that live here. It is Fey run, but mixed, so we would see some difference in architecture.
We are just shadows. It's supposed to be that we die. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think I want to intersperse them a little bit, but not a lot.
'Cause we are born as living fights. We live to die. We live to die.
And this is kind of what happens now, is I just go back and forth, and I don't want to move away too far from this aesthetic. I want this one, and I realised this is going to come around like this. And I'm going to do it before you ask me to, Tide Runner. Doing the savey thing. Well, just because I'm running it at a higher resolution, I just wanted to make sure that it would save okay. Otherwise, all this work would have been pointless. The other texture I need in here, because of the region that it is, let's see if I can find it. I'm gonna have to go to the wider catalogue. Where is it? I just saw the pirate ones and they were cool. Got distracted. So look at this colour, the ocean floor. This one. Take it down to 45.
Somehow I woke up out in Beverly, fucked up, smelling like that bourbon, and I end up alone. I'm not certain. Yeah, the girls impolite in the club every night. That's how it goes when you Hollywood perfect.
Trying to find what would be the good place for it. That one good? Or should we make it more one-way colour? I'm making my eyes go funny staring at it. Should we go like more of like a pink? Or should we go a bit more back towards traditional kind of rainbows? We can go into like a purpley. What are we thinking? Or blue? Might go with purple maybe. However, with it, I'm going to bring down the opacity so it's not. No, because the problem with this is I'm going to end up with flowers everywhere if I make it the brush too big. Some of this isn't going to matter because it's going to be covered by trees. This is in... Well, this one's more in spring still. This is spring, summer-ish. And hello, Zagent. Welcome to the chat. There will be a place where there will be places where I'll have to, that I'll be doing more autumnal colours, so... Don't worry, you'll get your oranges and reds and browns. Oh no, now we have to play the game. Yes, welcome to the insanity that are my games. There is just a sheer level of chaos with my players. You're part of an elite group. I don't know about that. Feel that's a bit generous. You are masters at causing chaos, I will admit that. No one causes better chaos than you. See, the wonderful thing about the time travel that your characters are participating in, Zephyr, is it's backwards time travel. It's not going to actually affect anything to do with the Saturday game. Not inherently. Because, yeah, that's the thing. I know that there are some things that have remained certain. So, the only thing you can do at this point is create an alternate timeline. Who knows exactly what you would change? And you know what, Zesian? There are lots of places, actually. There are a couple of places in the world where you could travel back 60,000 years. So, have fun with that. 60,000 years where you travel back. You know what? It would completely derail the campaign, and it would be amazing, and it would be hilariously one of the best crossovers that I could ever hope for, especially since I have some players who are in both games, so they would end up having to play twice the amount of characters. This is where we learn that one of Tide Runner's characters seduces the other. They become colleagues. Exactly. Isn't that exactly how your current character that you're playing, that you were playing in the Saturday game, isn't that exactly how they ended up married with kids? That even now, he and his wife are just colleagues. Farouk and Sylvie, they're a wonderful couple. Even now, they are colleagues. See, this is the level of pedantic I am. I'm fully aware that I'm about to put trees on top of this, and you're not going to see most of this. So am I taking an inordinate amount of time to place a whole heap of things that you're just not going to see anyway? Yes. See, this big... Okay, this big world map underneath I can actually delete. I don't need that anymore. See, how does that look? Oh, you can see still. Okay, good, good. So it does... Here's the thing though. So I've done that now. I've done that. So if we come in here, circular overgrown platforms, we bring this up to level 2. So this building, down 2. There we go. Like that. Does that look cool? Somehow I think I picked a tree again. There we go, that's what I wanted. Do that. I think this here, I actually want to delete that because I saw one. It's a bit more of a round curve like this. A bit more like this. And because of the way it layers and stacks, the way it layers and stacks things, because I want that to be I can go like that. That's cool. I like that.
You just wanna know
See, I have to be careful. These have to go down. Because yes, I have to be careful that I don't completely hide everything. Because of course we also want these walkways across. Close enough for a smaller bridge. Yes. And do I do a smaller platform? That one's on the top there, that's fine. So yes, these ones are these are really small. Too big, I think. Can do. Can definitely get away with a shorter one here. So how are we actually looking in terms of... Obviously this is going to be a lot clearer. How's that looking? Because this is the Night Captain's residence, I figured that it would make no sense that they can easily get into this fortified area. So having these upper platforms are probably not a good idea. actually work for that spot.
I never wanna hold you back. I wanna give you every chance to make it, to make it. I'm afraid if our love collides, you'll leave me alone tonight. 'Cause I'm changing and I'm breaking.
There we go.
Is this over? I'm scared to ask these questions 'cause I know that you'll reject my love, moving slower, frozen to these pieces without a shoulder to cry on.
I don't really want to put anything over here that's covered up.
And I will only climb the mountain without your goodbyes, 'cause you're my life. If I fail and crumble,
See, that's actually worked out really well, the way that that's actually layered, and I like that. Because realistically, the town barracks can reach multiple levels, and there would be a lot of people, a lot of salt guards and things like that. So
stand against all enemies, your enemies. I'm afraid if our love collides, you'll leave me alone tonight. 'Cause I'm changing and I'm breaking, but I'll still be your superhero. I'll be your superhero.
realistically, we select them and we actually all bring them up to 1 now. Okay, yes, perfect. I'm really liking the look of that so far.
I'm just calling to say I
These are really dense ones, and I don't want the really dense ones.
for the throne. I'm coming for the throne. So you wanna be my enemy? You should've known I'd never kiss the rain. Ice runs in my veins, won't play it safe. I don't belong with your nobility. Who died and made you king of anything? You think that I'm insane? It's your mistake. Kingdoms rise and fall. I've come to take it all. I'll take it. I've come to take it. Kingdoms rise and fall. I've come to take it all. I'll take it all. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control, feel it in my bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the. I'm coming for the throne. I'm coming for the throne.
Ah, save. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Tide Runner, for reminding me.
Yeah. Unknown brain. Marvin Divine. I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming, it's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
I know that I gotta stay away from all your games. Yeah, I know that I found somebody else to love me one day. You'll realize the grass ain't greener on the other side. No, he did me dirty for the last time, so now I gotta say goodbye.
Got the save done. Continue putting in these buildings, make sure we're on the right level.
Yeah, my life is lovely now, I'm focused on me. You said you were about to die, I guess the car is on E. But see, I ain't even tripping, cause I just chose to believe that somebody gon' come around and give me just what I need. I don't wanna see you finding, see you looking down and out. Coming to me crying, saying you miss having me around. Gave you chances and you blew it, you so easily influenced. All the times you told me beat it, now you gotta face the music, I'm saying.
I know that I gotta stay away from all your games. Yeah, I know that I found somebody else to love me one day. You'll realize the grass ain't greener on the other side. No, he did me
I move something there, that would actually give me a lot more room. So we have a blacksmith down here. That's not the right one. Bear with me for 1 second. Sorry about that, my dog just wanted to be let outside. So yeah, this is basically the part that takes a little bit of time now, just making all of this kind of mesh and whatnot. So obviously now we're working on the Magnolia Shore. We've got the guardhouse, we've got the tavern, we've got a clothier, we've got a blacksmith down here. I have not finished up here yet. So I'm going to need to do that as well. Multi-leveled. This is probably one of the bigger, more kind of invested map builds I've made. Getting all of these buildings in.
I control you just as in a game.
So don't want to block the road. Actually, now while I'm thinking about it, this is where it'll be. Central tree kind of crown. There's some of these smaller ones. Bring these down, I think. Works. Because then, look at these ones again, we can come down there. These will be 25. So obviously they're going to be places where people live up here as well. They don't need to be ridiculously visible, but, and I don't need to do it for all of them, but especially on some of these big ones, I probably won't need to do it because they would be completely shaded under there. Okay, that looks good. That looks good. That looks good. I'm happy with that so far. What do we think? with this, it's just experimentation as well. However, what I was actually looking for, what we're actually looking for is trees. Specifically top-down trees. See, these are autumnal trees. We're obviously going to use these in spring, in autumn. The problem is I want like this kind of tree, so I'm gonna have to, I think I'm going to have to, you know what, might take the full trees and we'll see what happens if we, can I find a pink? Okay, yeah, saturation's fine with it. Bring these down to size 10 because they're a little big. The question is, should we also do some like purpley ones? So some kind of purpley ones. So that looks. Because that's all very bright now. Doesn't need to be a lot, just pops of colour, I think. Hi Spinner, how are you? I hope you enjoyed your Christmas. Yeah, I'm okay actually. I'm just finishing up this, working on Corkwood. We're slowly getting it figured out because, you know, it's a multi-leveled elven city. So overall, like, all this is going to be farms out here and everything, but which I keep forgetting that this is the scale. I will, Zephyr. Thank you. I just saved, so thank you. But enjoy your baby shower that you're going to. With tunnels and caves. There are tunnels and caves, but at the moment, this is what we've got. It is in the spring court, so we've figured out Fort Bloom, and I still don't know, now that everything's in, is this too hard to read in the grand scheme of things? Because we are slowly working on this multi-leveled aspect to it as well. So we're just doing Magnolia Shore at the moment. They've got a tavern, guardhouse. Do I need to put a merchant in? Probably. Even if it's just a small one. Yeah, even if it's just a small one. They wouldn't want to have to necessarily go. They wouldn't necessarily want to have to go. Thank you. Yeah, it's... See, I like putting that in. I like it being an important part of a build. The fact that if you're going to do a beach, you know, commit to the beach kind of situation. So, like... Yeah. It is a seaport town, so it makes sense that, you know, that stuff is there. Nope, that's an artist guild. I don't want an artist guild. I want... Temple, Smithy, Mason. Mage, Fighter, Merchant's Guild, here we are. So what should we name? Not that you're gonna... No, you need to come up. There we go. So what are we naming this merchants though? No, I usually take a break through most of December and January, just trying to work, well, because I mostly run all year, like with, you know, obviously the only thing that stops the game is extenuating circumstances, i.e. half of the party is missing, or I have family events on, or things like this. Usually this is the time that I use to catch up to, this is usually the time that I would have to catch up to all of my kind of stuff. It's where I get a lot of my world building done. It's making sure that my plot lines and everything are still vaguely on track, because that's always a fun thing. You never know if they're going to be on track or not, so... Yeah, never, you know, and make sure that my party is still happy traveling along as they want to travel, or their stories as well are where they're supposed to be, that kind of thing, so... Okay. Okay. Merchants. The Tuesday group. They haven't separated so much as they've been sent back in the past. The Saturday game, we actually aren't starting till February, so I now have most of the party all sorted out. We've just had the final 2 players have been selected. So they are going through the, as we discovered, 136 playable species within my game. So they're going through all that and also figuring out what they're doing in terms of their classes. We're working on, for some have custom subclasses. All little tweaks here and there. So at the moment, the current party stands at a Simic hybrid alchemist, which is I believe, an artificer. Really? Well, if you made an application. I don't know how we all kind of worked and everything, so... Bye, Tydrana, have fun. Yes, so at the moment we have a Simic hybrid alchemist, which is a subclass of an artificer. We have a Raken urbanite ranger, a Tabaxi warlock whose patron is, well, whose pact is the Pact of the Boogie Woogie Woogie, which is a custom warlock pact. We have a Titanborn Aasimar Paragon, which comes from the Paragon class, comes from the Corpus Angelus Kickstarter. We have one unknown as yet, and we have, if Zejan ends up going with it, a Kalishtar Warlock with a, I believe, Pact of the Old Ones, I believe, ish, but it is messed around, so. With this game, because of the sheer size of the world lore, there is at least a set species list that they can choose from, which is very plane specific. So they have 136 species over 136 species over the 3 planes of existence. So the Hell plane, Material plane, and the Feywild. 136, and they are anything from custom species lists, custom sub-race species, and then obviously there might be just differences. So a human from hell is completely different from a human from the Feywild. So a huge variety of choice on that. In terms of classes, they can pick from the all of the printed stuff. It would depend on what they want to do, but mostly it is, if they have an idea, they come to me and we discuss it and see how we can figure it out, basically. I have added a whole heap of sub-races to existing species as well. So, for example, the Aarakocra. There are different Aarakocra sub-races depending on where they are. So, for example, they don't just have to be an eagle Aarakocra. They can be a peacock, they can be a hummingbird, they can be a cassowary. And there are options for all of those that are, obviously they have different, it's not just flavor texted stuff, it is different ability score modifiers, different abilities. So for example, it doesn't make sense for cassowary based Aarakocra to be able to fly because cassowary can't fly. However, they do have a swimming speed and they do have an attack. I believe it is, the attack is Stomp Stomp Bitch is the name of the attack. And then yes, it is a stomping attack. So, which, you know, hummingbird. I hadn't made a phoenix one, but there is every possibility if that was something that they wanted to do, that was something we could work on, basically. If they had a magic boost, there would be an area where they do have weaknesses as well, though. I imagine a phoenix base would be... Honestly, a phoenix would probably be a charisma caster, so they would get a bonus to, probably a +2 to constitution for the burning and regeneration thing, and then probably a +1 to charisma. I probably think, because obviously I can imagine that they would probably be geared towards, well, and this is the thing, they don't necessarily, yeah, something like that. So there could be a phoenix base of, and then obviously if they wanted to go phoenix sorcerer, we could work on that as well. So multi-level all the phoenix abilities. I believe that we've got druid subclasses of the unicorns and things like this, so that there is possibility that you could have, you know, all of those kind of things. So basically the only thing that kind of ends up limiting you in this particular game for me is your imagination. Depends what you want to do with your character, and then I basically try to figure out how that is possible for you to fit it into my world setting. So yeah, the way of the fifth, yeah, they want to heal. God, why do I get the impression that it is a healer that they smack you to heal you? I have seen something like that done before as well. Yeah, because, and that's the thing, like, for example, I don't expect clerics in my world to be healers if they don't want to be. Like, you know, that's not the given caveat in my world, that they don't have to be like that. It's just a healing axe. I don't know how we'd work that, to be honest, but not thinking about it off the top of my head right now. Healing axe, though. Well, because it is a slightly more futuristic setting, there is no reason that it couldn't be something like that. I don't know if an axe would necessarily work, but for example, there are plenty of healing implements in today's... Oh, yeah. They could straight up have been, you know, a sales clerk who worked for an alchemist and things like this and have proficiency with things like that. Yeah, definitely. And yeah, because there are real world connotations for not necessarily healing axe, but for example, you think about defib machines. they whack a hell of a punch. Not only that, CPR, doing chest compressions, it is quite frequent that in doing chest compressions, people end up with broken ribs. You know? But it's much more important to keep the person alive. You can heal a broken rib. It's a bit harder to bring someone back from death. So, you know, there is always that capability that you can not necessarily be the most... Not all healers have to be gentle healers. They're, you know, first responders. They are more focused on saving your life first and then healing the injuries after, you know? So, I mean, there is no reason that you can have a barbarian that was like that. You know, just live, damn it! You know? I kind of... While I don't want real world issues to come into my world, yes, I will say, no, my players are always more chaotic than me. In the interview process, I've realized by telling a lot of the stories about the characters who have come before in this world, they've done a lot of chaotic stuff, really chaotic stuff that was not even my initial design, initial plan. You know, one of the first stories that I kind of use now in learning about this kind of stuff, one of the stories that I kind of fall back on to explain to new players into my game exactly the style, I guess, of game. Obviously, the plot lines, I do want there to be some serious plot lines, so obviously the characters do feel like their characters, you know, their character motivations are still obviously forefront for their characters' build and things like this. But, you know, if you're fighting a horde of zombies and one of your teammates basically charges past you into battle on the back of a triceratops holding a shotgun in one hand and holding a red panda who is also holding a shotgun in the other hand, you know, that happened, and that was the players that did that. That wasn't me that did that. I mean, yes, I put the triceratops in the world and things like that, but nope. I because of the way that the world is designed, there are actually previous player characters. I know that you've probably seen the trailer spinner. At this point, every single character in that is a past player character. They're not DM fabrications. Yeah, so every character in that is a previous player character. Because of the time zone the time frame that this game is actually going to be set in, there are actually still previous player characters alive in the world. So the Simic Hybrid character, they are actually the great grandson of their previous character. And because he is a druid, he's an archdruid. His previous character is an archdruid. He is very much still alive in the world. The Tabaxi, his essentially his warlock patron, we state, his warlock patron is essentially his dad's. In the loosest sense of the term, that they are his dads. They made him who he is. They are still very much entities within the dream plane of dreams. So yeah, and because they're his warlock patron, they are going to obviously, you know, come into play with the character. So yeah, I do like there being possibility. I do like there being the possibility that they can interact with potential previous player characters. The gods, for example, the ascendant gods of the world, they are previous player characters. The head god of the pantheon, at least in the material plane, in the Way of the Nine, and obviously he is now at least a god in the pantheon in the Feyawyr because of the emigration. he's known as the Peace Father, Nei Xing. He's a total tranquility monk, wild soul barbarian that ascended to godhood as a god of balance. The goddess of chaos is also a previous player character, belonged to Evil One. So yeah, I don't completely wipe the slate clean, because it's the world has now got 4 eras of player characters who have been through the world, who have been involved in the world building. Basically, my world would not be as fleshed out in the world building if it wasn't for those player characters. So, I like that to kind of reflect that. It is also why, with the new players coming in, what I'm planning on doing is essentially pairing them up with a previous player. The new players will be paired with a previous player character, as and I will choose people who make the most sense story-wise. But it means that they can also create, if they need help with information and things like this on the way the world runs and operates and things like this, they also have somebody. They're like, hey, can what's the deal with this? What's the deal with that? And especially if I'm not always available, there are going to be people that they can talk to about, like, what's the case with this situation. So yeah. What does this item do? Depends on the item. I am allowing them all at so character creation, they're all starting at 3rd level. And everyone gets a common magic item at character creation. The only rule is it's not allowed to be something that's necessarily useful in combat. I mean, anything's a weapon, with enough effort, let's be honest. But basically, the idea is it's just a common magic item that they can use, that doesn't have combat proficiency, But like I said, anything can be a weapon with enough ingenuity, let's be honest.
Fade away from where we've been. I close the chapter where I'm ripping out my pages. Stop the fire under my skin. Oh, light the blaze again that stood alive for ages. Breathing in the lies that keep me open from the truth that keeps me holding on. Holding on to your lies. Where do you think you'll find me when you destroy what is inside me? I'll carry on. I'll carry on. I'll carry on. I'll carry on.
Well, that's exactly it. And this is why, I don't have any set rules in terms of, I don't care if I end up with a party of all bards, because there are enough options that no 2 characters are going to be exactly the same. Even if they ended up having, they were exactly the same build, they would never end up being the same, because it comes down to the way that the player wants to play the character. And so I don't have any, strict rules on what I expect in terms of character builds and things like this. The biggest thing I want is my player characters to have fun. So these purpley pink lines, they're district lines, basically. So if I come out and you can actually see a bit better. I'm still up in the air about the actual district names. Is it going to end up looking too muddy? Is it getting lost? Yeah, so they're just borders, so you know what the different suburbs are. Also, so I know what the different suburbs are, so I can make sure that there are like taverns and guardhouses in each of these places. So, yeah. So yeah, the way that the characters build and things like this. So we roll 4d6d1 for character stats, ability scores. I let them roll usually twice, as long as it's above 72 points. However, if they roll really trash and they want to keep the really trash, that's also fine too. But yeah, no, my whole thing is I usually let them roll twice as long as both sets of those stats reach above 72, and then they can pick one or the other. They can't mix and match, basically. And so they can obviously put those wherever they want. We usually start at 3rd level just because I like them being able to start with their like base class kind of stuff. No, 4d6d1. So as in that you roll 4d6 and you drop the lowest. So, you know, there is a very rare opportunity that you end up rolling 4 ones and you end up with a 3, but it is very rare, although it has happened. So, woo. So yeah, allow them to do that. In terms of their hit points, I let them take either the average or roll for it, and that's at every level that they get more hit points. They are even allowed to they're even allowed to go, you know what, I want to roll for hit points, and then they roll a 1 and they're like, that's crap, I'm gonna take the average instead. I'm a-okay with that, it doesn't matter. Because I have this very strong opinion that as the DM, if I really wanted the characters dead, it wouldn't matter how many hit points they have, because I create the world, I create the conflict. That's basically my job, to create the conflict. So if I really wanted them dead, they would be dead. So the only thing I kind of keep an eye on is individual player creep. So I keep them all at the same level. I don't mix and match levels, basically. So, just because for my mental health more than anything. But yeah, I keep an eye on individual character creep, just so that, because it is a collaborative game, it's a team game, it's a group game, having one player who can literally do everything and the rest of the team becomes obsolete, that basically is one thing that doesn't fly with me. And just because your characters are super powerful, the only thing that means is the more powerful your characters become and the more messes they create, the more powerful entities are going to pay attention. No, I don't ever stop anyone from creating extra characters if they want to create extra characters, because I know that some people just really enjoy coming up with character concepts. But as a general rule, I do advise that they don't create new characters for the game, just in case they end up falling in love with the new character more, and then they stop kind of caring about what happens to this one. Yeah, no, we just take it when it happens, but I don't stop anyone from creating additional characters if they want to, because, yeah, some people find that as part of their fun of playing D&D. But yeah, I do advise generally not to create a secondary character for this campaign, just in case, they end up liking the new character that they've made more. So, but, I also turn around and say, I'm also not their parent, I'm not their mother. If they want to do that, they can do that. I am planning on, because this is going to be a stream game, I am going to take like a 5-minute break in the middle, because it'll be a 3-hour stream, roughly, give or take. So usually I'm going to try and take a 5-minute break in the middle. But as a general rule, I don't adhere that we have, you can't go on a break or go to the bathroom until, we go on a break. No. We very much treat this like a game. It is very much a game. You are also grown-ups. You don't need my permission to go to the bathroom. Just write BRB and, it is up to them. Ideally, at most, I'll probably give them 2 weeks if they need. Because, they might want to, although it depends on the level, and if the party is capable of, resurrecting them. The problem is that a resurrection, so it might also be because the party goes, yeah, we're definitely going to resurrect them, but we need to be able to get to this temple to get to do this kind of ritual or whatever, and so they cast I think it's gentle repose. It gives them 10 days or whatever, which I kind of use as a temporary hold, if they can't get somewhere like immediately within an hour or something like that. Yep, they can have undead characters. If the party's like, yeah, we're definitely going to resurrect them, we just need to be able to get to this temple or whatever, I do kind of allow temporary characters as well. If their character, for whatever reason, definitely needs to go off, because they can't align themselves with the party any longer, or they need like a very specific character growth, or just, for example, the player's just like, I'm just not feeling this character at the moment. I feel like they need to have like a personal journey or whatever, but I don't want to take time out. I do occasionally, as long as it's not all the time, allow them to have a temporary character that they've created to fill that gap, so that they don't feel like they have to miss out on session after session after session. Basically, the biggest thing is communication is one of the biggest things in our group. If you need to take a break for personal reasons or whatever, or just a mental break, I'm happy for the character to go off as well, so that you can take some time off or whatever. Because, like I said, this is a game. We're all grown-ups. Yeah, if they feel like their character has reached where they need, and they've reached their peak situation where they feel like they want to stay behind or whatever, I am A-okay with them allowing their character, to stay there, and they roll a new character, or, because yeah, it's a game. It's sometimes you end up feeling like, I know that there have been situations as well, even for myself, I've turned around to the DM and realized I'm just not vibing with this character. Everyone seems to dislike them. They're just not meshing with the party. Can I roll a new character? As I said, as long as it's not all the time, because you don't have to perfectly fit the party. I'm okay with there being inter-party conflict, i.e. your characters do argue occasionally. I just have very strict rules. While PvP is allowed within reason, the big key is you communicate with the person involved. But under no certain terms are you allowed to kill another player character. And if you do have an argument or a fight, you've already decided where the line is to stop. No, quietly, secretly shanking somebody and then, dipping out because, oh, well, they were evil and my character's good. Yeah, as long as it... No, and see, that's absolutely fine. It was the fact that in my personal situation, the party needed to work as a collaborative group, as in they were a military team. They needed to get along. They couldn't be that conflict constantly. There couldn't be that conflict constantly. It just wouldn't work. So, because they need to be able to trust each other and rely on each other. Every party is different. It really does depend on the circumstance and communication. In my situations, But when it comes to the parties that I run, communication is top of everything. As long as you talk about it, you can do what, as long as the party has agreed on certain things, that's fine. But usually my blanket rules are you can't kill another player character and you can't steal from your own party. Obviously the communication rule goes against that, as depending on what happens. But for example, if they find some loot, it is up to the player characters to convince the others why they should be allowed to have this one thing that they really, really want. Yeah, people can change their mind. So, exactly. Because, and that's the big thing, we're all grown-ups, and we get together to play a fantasy game to have fun. Yeah, exactly. And if there is a magical item so I do sometimes put in very specific magic items for certain characters, but I do try and do that equally. And my big thing is, even if they split the party, I don't necessarily punish the party by, oh, well, you split the party, so now all of you must die, kind of thing. No. But generally things will happen to each kind of group, but I do try and divide it up so that everyone kind of gets equal time. No, I don't. I make it, generally, if, especially in a town, if they decide to divide the party, sometimes shenanigans happen, but it's not like, it's not going to be like, oh, well, this party stayed here, so now the plot's going to find them. I kind of like it being, in terms of, because it is a fantasy game, I do still like there being that level of realism that, okay, well, you went out shopping one day and an adventure found you, kind of thing. You went out shopping one day, an adventure found you. So it could be anything from, oh, well, you hear a weird noise, like someone yelling for help or whatever, and you can go help them, and shenanigans ensue. Very much as I go in the campaign. Very much in the as I go. So I'm building Corkwood now. I will probably create a whole heap of bounty hunting kind of quests, for lack of a better word. So, if they want to just do something that's not necessarily interacting with what might be the main plot, they can do that. We do have a session 0 to kind of at least decide with what the party primarily finds enjoyable. So if they very much want to find bounties to begin with, I'll put that in place insofar as, making sure that I've at least got some not really simple bounty hunting quests that they can go to like the Adventurers Guild and find out and things like that. I try to, I also put stuff in for the main plot. Or, so for example, this particular party, it's going to be starting on a boat. We're not starting in a tavern. They're going to be on a boat heading to Corkwood. So they're actually not going to honestly, I don't think, depending on what happens, but I don't think they're going to even see Corkwood in the first session. Because they're going to be on the boat and something's going to happen to obviously bring them together as a party. And depending on how long that particular thing happens, how long that takes, depends on how they're going to talk as a party. Because they've been travelling on this ship to Corkwood for a little while as well. This is one thing that one of my player characters put me onto. We do something where basically I ask the players all the players secretly to give me 2 truths about their character and a lie. And then I cut those 3 things up and I kind of put them into a barrel, toss them around, and come up with a list of 3 things that each character knows. And so they're not necessarily going to know about every character. They're not going to know what's a truth and what's a lie either. But they basically know 3 things about one of the other characters, but not, you know, it might be one thing about one person, one thing about another person, and one thing about a third person. And that could be 2 lies and a truth about somebody, you know, mix it up. And it's up to them as characters to, you know, they're the rumors they've heard on, you know, they've heard about these people. And it's up to them to talk to each other to figure out what's true, what's not true. You know, they've overheard conversations, blah, blah, blah. And so it's up to the player characters to figure out, you know, what they know about this person and encourage them to talk to each other to learn about each other, as opposed to me just blanket ruling everything of, oh, you immediately know this person. And that's part of the reason why as well that I want to pair the players up as well, because at least then in the world they already know somebody. You know, they're not having to establish completely new friendships. You know, oh, well, why are we together? Well, because we're going to this place and yada, yada, yada. I also run the rule of what I call interactive metagaming to a certain degree, which basically what I mean by this is on some level, the player characters have to subconsciously be aware that for whatever reason, they have to stay together. Just subconsciously. They don't know why, call it fate, call it whatever. They have to figure out a reason why they stay together. They don't have to all be good or evil. As it is anyway, I very much run alignment that it is a very loose concept in my world. So they will actually encounter good guys, bad guys, all this kind of stuff. But usually there's a lot of morally grey alignment in my world. So yeah, there's a lot of moral greyness in there. And so I don't expect my party to be all good or all evil. You know, they don't have to be all chaotic or lawful. As long as they have an aligned goal that they're aiming towards. And their reasons for doing that goal could be completely different, but at least they have an aligned goal that's making them head in the same direction. The only one I kind of discourage a little bit is chaotic evil, just because it's really hard to work a chaotic evil character into what is usually a reasonably good aligned party. So that's the only thing I kind of, not necessarily straight up say no, but you need to have a good reason for why you're playing that character to make it work, basically. Now I think I'm going to finish just placing these buildings, and then I think that will be me done for today until Wednesday. I just realised why I don't like that lot of buildings, because that's a road. There, no wonder I couldn't figure that out. About why that looked wrong. because it's too many of the same. I'll come in here and put some snail buildings in. Okay. Okay, so I think that is going to be me for today. It did go a bit longer because I did cut it a bit short on Saturday because it was Christmas Eve. So, however, we are slowly filling Corkwood with places. It is interesting building this multi-leveled and how I'm trying to figure out where businesses are and things like this. I hope you're all enjoying it anyway and just the process. I don't know, maybe I'll change it up to some more lo-fi music next week, next session that I do building or whatnot. Maybe, we'll see. Otherwise, I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening or night, wherever you are in the world. In terms of what I'm doing, tomorrow I have more Lost in Random, in which we will see if I get incredibly frustrated and rage quit, if I can beat Mayor Royam or not this time. We will see. Otherwise, if you don't join me, I will see you on Wednesday for more Boomeadow builds. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day wherever you are in the world. I hope you are enjoying the rest of your holidays, and I will see you all next time. Yes, I will see you all next time. And yeah, bye.
No nos queda mucho tiempo más. No quiero